Howdy, my name's Macy Wren, and in today's presentation, we're focusing on an important part of the innovation theory, relative advantage. This concept helps us understand why some new technologies or ideas catch on quickly and why others struggle to gain traction. We'll look at both theory and real-world examples today. Let's start off by defining some of my instructional objectives. Number one, define relative advantage within the context of diffusion of innovation theory. Number two, explore how relative advantage influences the adoption of new technologies or practices. Number three, and finally, provide real-world examples of innovations where relative advantage played a key role in their diffusion. Instead of just memorizing definitions today, I encourage you to think about these concepts and how they apply in real life. Why do you choose one product over another? We'll dive into the psychology and strategy behind all of this. Now let's get into the introduction of the diffusion of innovation. This theory was developed in the 1960s by Everett Rogers, but it's more relevant than ever today, especially with how fast technology spreads. Rogers explains how innovations travel through communities or industries, and today we'll hone in on one key part of this, relative advantage, which is often the make or break it factor for an innovation's success. Now, let's get into the key concept and main focus of this presentation, which is relative advantage. I've given you guys a short definition according to Rogers and the question, what is in it for me, which is answered by relative advantage. As its core, relative advantage is all about perception. Think of it like this. When you're faced with a new option, you ask yourself, is this really better? If the answer is yes, the adoption happens quickly. If the answer isn't clear, the innovation is stalled. I also gave a graphic here to the left that kind of demonstrates the weighting factor of relative advantage and how it's measured. If the relative advantage is high, the new innovation is adopted. And if it's low, then it is not adopted and the previous product remains in use. Now, let's get into defining relative advantage. It can be measured in terms of improved performance, efficiency, cost effectiveness, convenience, satisfaction, or status. So, for example, if a farmer is using a new tractor that saves fuel and works faster than his old one, he's more likely to adopt the new tractor because it has a higher perceived relative advantage. The greater the perceived benefits, the more attractive the innovation is. This concept is so powerful because it touches on multiple aspects: cost, time, effort, and even how an innovation can make someone feel. It's not just about the product being better, but it's about the product being seen better by the potential user because that's what's most important. The stronger the perceived improvement, like I said, the quicker it will be adapted. I've also given a GIF up here of Apple and Android. These are two innovations, but Android is the newer innovation, but its relative advantage is not perceived higher than that of Apple, which is why Apple is still the main product that is spread widely globally and why Android has not been adopted and infused as much as Apple has. Now let's get into some factors that influence relative advantage. First off, we have economic benefit, which just means that the new innovation is cheaper and the profit is increased, which makes the adoption process more likely to happen. Next, we have time saving, which just means that the new tool or technology makes a task quicker and it holds a higher relative advantage. Lastly, we have ease of use, which is if the innovation is easier to use than the pre-existing one, it will have a higher chance of success. It's interesting to think about what actually matters to people. Sometimes it's saving money, other times it's saving time or making a task easier. For businesses, even a small increase in efficiency and performance can lead to a big payoff, which is why innovations that offer these benefits often succeed quickly. Now let's get into the importance of relative advantage. Relative advantage is a critical factor in how quickly an innovation is adopted. The reason we emphasize relative advantage is because it minimizes risk for adopters. If people clearly see an improvement, they're less hesitant to take the leap. Think of it like you're trying a new app or product. You're more likely to switch if there's an obvious upgrade from that of what you're used to. Now I'd like to ask you the question of why is relative advantage important for the adoption of new innovations? I want you to think about that for a second. So first off, a relative advantage is crucial because it highlights the value of the innovation to potential users. The innovation shows clear benefits like saving time, reducing costs, or improving efficiency. It will more likely be adopted and be adopted quickly because people are more motivated by these tangible improvements. So I've also given you some bullet points here that I'd like to discuss. Perceived benefits. This just means if people believe the new idea offers a significant advantage over that of which they were using, they're more motivated to adopt it. Next, we have competitive edge, which just means that companies are more likely to adopt an innovation if there is a competitive edge over that of their competitors. So if it will benefit them and they'll supersede what their competitors are doing. Lastly, we have lower risk. A clear relative advantage reduces the perceived risk of adoption, making people more confident in making the switch, which I kind of touched on this in previous slides. Before I move on to this next slide, I would like you guys to think about specific examples now that you kind of have an idea of what relative advantage is. So, some examples I thought of was smartphones versus flip phones. Um, this slide shows how the concept plays out in everyday life. Think about how quickly smartphones took over flip phones. It wasn't just a tech change, it was a complete lifestyle change. People saw immediate advantage in terms of ease of use and connectivity. Also, it made communication blow up rapidly because, yes, you could text on flip phones before, but it was a lot more difficult because you had only so many keys, and 3 letters per keys. With smartphones, each letter gets an individual key, so it made it completely easier and it's set up the same way as like a computer. Next, I have electric cars versus gas cars. Electric cars having a relative advantage over gas cars because they're more environmentally friendly and cost effective in the long run, which increases their relative advantage over traditional vehicles. And then one other example I would like to touch on that I did not put in this slide is the relative advantage of microphones that connect to your phone. Um, this is easily portable. It has an improved quality over your built-in microphones on your laptops or iPhones or smartphones. It also is easily portable. It's compact, it's convenient, and it also has a relative advantage over larger studio equipment and microphones that require more setup. This is literally just connect to your Bluetooth and go. It's also cost effective. It's really cheap. And it's also really easy to use and figure out. I'm pretty sure even my grandma could use this. So I just wanted to point that out because I've been using it this whole presentation and I bet nobody thought of it as, an innovation that has relative advantages over previous methods of microphones. So yeah, I just thought that was really cool. Next, I'd like to get into a specific relative advantage example, and that is social media marketing has a relative advantage over traditional marketing methods. And I just gave you a little graphic of, an iPhone and social media marketing methods versus, a traditional billboard marketing method. Before I get more into it, I'd also like to show you guys a quick little video explaining what social media marketing is, since I know some people don't exactly know what it all entails.
Social media. There's absolutely no way you haven't heard of it yet. Over the last few years, social media has completely changed the internet. Actually, it has changed the whole world and also the world of marketing. So, what are the reasons for your business to start utilizing these new forms of communication as soon as possible? These are the 7 most important ones. Number 1, showcase your brand. Social media offers another marketing channel for creating brand awareness, relationship building, or driving new sales. So why not use it, especially when it's free, right? Number 2, develop a loyal community. People enjoy being part of a business that is proactively building a lively community. Such an online community can help you establish an emotional connection between your company and your prospects, which is essential for your long-term success. Number 3, improve customer service. Social media is a great feedback source. Enabling your prospects to communicate with your company and each other can greatly improve your customer service and increase brand trustworthiness. Number 4, increase digital exposure. Interacting in social networks can significantly increase your online presence. Social media leads to massive exposure due to its worldwide access, sharing capabilities, and huge amount of daily users. Number 5, boost traffic in search engine rating. Social media is a major lead generator, and it constantly brings high volume traffic to your website. They can also help with SEO, since search engines significantly reflect your social media content. Number 6, expand sales and reach a new audience. Listening to your prospects on social networks can help you respond to their specific needs. This will most likely cause an increase in sales, but also expand your customer base. Number 7, cut marketing costs. Compared to traditional channels like print or advertising, social media marketing is affordable for any business. Remember that the channel itself is free. Managing social media, taking care of all the content, tweets, or feedback can get pretty time consuming, and you need to focus primarily on your business. So, how about leaving the social stuff to us? No worries, we have plenty of experience to take complete responsibility of your social presence. So, get in touch with us. We're ready to start today.
Now that you have a little bit of understanding of what social media marketing is, I want to get even more specific in that. In the case of social media adoption for agricultural marketing, because it has a clear relative advantage over traditional marketing methods. So, the first concept I would like to get into is cost efficiency. Social media platforms such as Facebook, X, TikTok, Instagram, they all offer free or low-cost marketing options. This is particularly beneficial for farmers or businesses that have limited resources and low budgets. Compared to expensive traditional methods like infomercials, print ads, social media is a much more costly way to reach a wider audience. Which brings me to my next point, a wider reach. Traditional marketing methods usually focus on a specific geographic location, such as a local community, whereas social media, on the other hand, um, can reach a wide range, national or even a global audience. This is especially beneficial for companies who are trying to market a specific product like organic or eco-friendly items because they can appeal to a specific consumer base. Next, I'd like to talk about direct engagement. Social media platforms enable farmers to interact daily and directly with their customers through comments, direct messages, live streams, stories. Farmers and ag businesses can engage with their audience, um, which helps build trust and grow connections and relationships which traditional methods cannot offer. Next, we'll talk about storytelling and branding. Social media marketing allows farmers and ag businesses to showcase their day-to-day operations, values, sustainable practices, and creating a personal brand. Platforms like Instagram and Facebook give businesses the space to share their story, which can resonate with consumers and also create transparency, which a lot of people appreciate. Next, analytics and targeted ads. Social media platforms provide built-in analytics for every single post. It shows you how the posts are doing and how, if you're doing ads, how they're performing. It also includes the number of likes, shares, and comments on a post. Additionally, paid advertisement can be targeted to a specific demographic set up by the company or by whatever platform you're using. And this is good to help you promote products to specific interest groups, making social media much more precise and effective than traditional marketing methods, in my opinion. And I think these are great examples of relative advantage in agriculture because social media marketing truly has revolutionized the way farmers and ag businesses reach their audience compared to traditional methods. Social media offers a two-way street for communication and allows businesses to engage directly with consumers. Now, I would like to highlight some evidence um, of these facts and theories I just provided you. One key study from the Journal of Agriculture focuses on how communication channels, including social media, influence the adoption of digital agriculture technologies. This research highlights the significant role social media plays in expanding reach and engagement, which are important advantages compared to traditional methods of communications and marketing in the agriculture sector. Another relevant study published by the Information Systems and E-Business Management examines how digital inclusion and product suitability affects social media marketing adoption among farmers in China. This research found that platforms like WeChat, due to their wide penetration, provide farmers with an affordable and effective way to market their products, supporting the idea that cost efficiency and wider reach of social media offer a relative advantage over traditional marketing methods. I think both these journal articles confirm that social media provides a relative advantage in terms of cost, engagement, data analytics, making it a powerful tool for businesses to market their products and engage customers in real time, unlike traditional marketing methods. And for me, this is where we see research backing up what many already know. Social media doesn't just increase visibility, it also cuts costs, which is so important, especially for agriculture companies, because there are a lot of smaller companies. There are some big corporations, but a lot of them are mom and pop stores, which I think is, cutting costs is so important for them. Um, Studies have shown how platforms like WeChat have helped farmers in China, um, more customers, efficiently emphasizing the economic reach and advantages. And this is not the only article I've read about this, but I felt like it was the most relevant one for this. But yes, WeChat has been used widely throughout Asia, especially by extension agents to promote new innovations and help their followers adopt them. Next, I would like to talk about how John Deere effectively uses social media strategies. I think this is an excellent case study. They're not just showcasing products, they're telling stories, engaging users, and building a community around their brand. It's all about making their content relatable, and this approach has given them a clear edge over their competitors. So you can see here, I put a picture of John Deere's social media account, Instagram. They have 1.3 million followers, which is insane for an agriculture company. They're doing a great job. They also have Facebook, Twitter or X, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. They also use social media campaigns to promote and build relationships and connections with their customers and followers. They use the hashtag Deer Season to encourage followers and customers to post their tractors and products in videos, pictures, and they interact with them. And this helps them build connections to their users and it makes their customers and followers feel seen and noticed. Next, I would like to point out how TikTok specifically has a relative advantage over traditional marketing methods um, while boosting John Deere's business. So, John Deere uses TikTok as a great example of meeting customers where they are. Younger generations are active on TikTok, and John Deere uses a platform to stay relevant, participate in trends, and create viral content that humanizes the brand while driving the business. I've put some that basically highlighted over some of these bullet points, but I really would like to point out that John Deere is doing a great job utilizing TikTok to reach a wider audience. Especially those of younger farmers who don't necessarily read newspapers where their ads used to be, or, billboards or radio commercials. It's doing a great job of finding specific people to market to, especially that younger generation, because their older generation is pretty loyal to them. So I don't think that's going to change.
Everyone saying that I should be John Deere's Chief Tractor Officer, and I guess I can. This is because I've already partnered with Deere, a favorite company, and already took it on a really important job. And it's going to be fun, but I'm going to be training the new Chief Tractor Officer. Yeah, you heard that right by a long shot. Once Deere selects their new Chief Tractor Officer, that person is going to fly out to Indiana, my state, for some hands-on training, and I'm going to teach them about.
Oh, look, a strawberry. Okay.
I just wanted to show these two videos because it's directly from John Deere's TikTok, and I think it does a great job of humanizing the brand. In the first one, it shows a young boy who is saying how he's going to train the new person in that position, which they've been marketing for throughout their TikTok. And then the second one is a TikTok trend they followed, which is great because it helps them reach a wider audience and gives them the chance to go viral. And since they are staying up to date with relevant trends, it circulates on people's For You pages. Now let's talk about my conclusion. I want you guys to think about the answer to this question, why relative advantage matters. So, in my opinion, ultimately what makes an innovation successful often boils down to its relative advantage. Innovations that offer clear, tangible benefits are ones that take off. Whether it's a tech gadget or a new marketing strategy, if people see value, adoption happens quickly. And I just give you some bullet points here, kind of going over the same thing. So now that we have gone through the whole presentation, I think it would be a great time to give a little quiz to test what we've learned through this whole thing. So the first question is, what does relative advantage refer to in the context of innovation adoption? The correct answer is A, the process by which an innovation is communicated over time among the members of a social system. How does relative advantage impact the speed of innovation adoption? The correct answer is C. The higher the relative advantage, the faster the adoption. Which of the following is an example of an innovation with a high relative advantage? A. A new crop that requires less water and provides higher yields compared to traditional crops. What is the relationship between relative advantage and the rate of diffusion of an innovation? B. The higher the relative advantage, the faster the rate of diffusion. Which of the following describes an innovation with a low relative advantage? A. A new fertilizer that offers the same crop yield but costs twice as much as traditional options. I think this is a good time to point out that just because an innovation has a lot of advantages doesn't mean it outweighs the disadvantages and that it should be adopted. It's important to point out that um, not every innovation will benefit a certain group of people, and it might be more beneficial to them to stick with their original plan or innovation that was originally implemented. And here are my references in case anybody wants to go look at John Deere's Instagram, TikTok, the video I posted, the journal articles, and Roger's Diffusion of Innovations book. Thank you.